Senator Reed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Director. As you're well aware, DOGE is going through and seizing a significant amount of information from different federal agencies. There are multiple lawsuits challenging the legality of this. Their goal, as they've admitted, is to develop a single centralized data center which would have vast amounts of data which could be used for very malign purposes. But first, can you give us assurance that every one of those DOGE workers has the appropriate clearance to see this information?
As far as it relates to the FBI, I can.
But not the other agencies?
Well, I don't know who's where, Senator. I'd have to look.
Well, don't you think it'd be pretty important to look if there is a chance that this is a violation of multiple laws?
Well, Senator, what we do is everyone that is employed at any agency that we own the security clearance process adjudication for, we make sure we adjudicate it appropriately beforehand.
Who would be responsible for the other agencies? The agency itself?
The agency itself.
Have you received instructions from the White House to you and every other agency to ensure the security clearances of these individuals?
For me, as it relates to who we control, yeah, we adjudicate the security clearance.
Did you get an instruction from the White House to do that?
To make sure they have their security clearances? No, I don't need an instruction. I just do it.
Has there been instructions to other agencies?
It's less so an instruction whether it's DOGE or a new hire or whatnot. If they're getting a security clearance, they go through a process.
Well, the bottom line is you, in your position, cannot assure us that all the people that are dealing with this information, because it's vast across the whole government, have the appropriate clearances. Do you know where this information is located when it's removed from federal sites?
What information? The BI information, Senator?
All the information they're picking up from the Department of Treasury, the Department of Agriculture. As you know, DOGE is working through every federal agency.
Well, again, Senator, it depends on who the adjudicator is for the clearance. If we, the FBI, are for that individual or individuals, we maintain it in our BI system.
So they cannot take the information from the FBI. It has to remain in your system. I'm talking about DOGE. When DOGE employees walk into your computers, get on their computers with their own computers, I've been told, where does that information go?
As far as I'm tracking for the FBI, nobody's bringing in outside computers to do anything.
But is that the case throughout the government?
Well, I can't speak for every other agency. I just don't know, sir.
Once this information is, and in some cases it's been clear in press reports that it is leaving the premises and of the agency, if this information is all consolidated as the suggestion is, what protections are there for the American people against the misuse of this information?
Well, again, I can't speak to other agencies and how they hold their information. I'm not familiar with it. As far as the FBI is concerned, we hold all information for BIs in one place, and it is not accessible.
Okay. Now, you're the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the United States, practically speaking, and you're not interested in ensuring that the data of millions and millions of Americans are not absolutely secure?
I am, but I cannot tell the Department of Homeland Security how to handle their data. That's for the DHS Secretary. I'm not permitted by law to
What law prevents that? If you believe there's a crime that's being committed.
If there's a crime that's being committed, that's a separate instance, Senator. You're just talking about holding data.
No, I'm talking about holding data that someone should not have access to, and in a place and a location it should not be located at, would, in my view, constitute.
In that hypothetical, if a law was being broken, our line agents would open up a case.
Have you opened up a case?
But we're speaking about a hypothetical, so I don't know.
No, we're speaking about DOGE, which is operating every day, collecting information, putting that information together with, I think, malicious intent, because it's not an agency that's saving a lot of money. And it could be used to defraud Americans. It could be used to interfere with our voting systems. It could be used many ways. And if we don't get a handle on it now, and you're the Chief Federal Law Enforcement Officer, I think we're going to see some very, very adverse results. And I would hope you would get to look at this and investigate this immediately and take appropriate actions. Thank you.
Senator Britt.